we had the local council come round from the homeless welfare people. And they said, we're just checking in on you. I said, I'm not homeless. This is my home and I go wherever I want. And within 10 minutes, they were like, I'm so jealous of you. They were like, we really want to do what you're doing. It gives me such a rush, though, to do that. Like when people ask, where do you live? I just say, I live anywhere.
And you have bananas, interestingly, hanging here.
Yeah,
that's not a secret chord or anything, is it?
No. What? What, like pumpkin spice?
Or a pineapple?
No.
They're here!
The best thing is this.
Oh, I hope.
This sold it for me. As soon as the guy showed me this, I was in my element. So that goes into place. And this
oh, yeah. So, Louise, I join you here in Stratford upon Avon, the home of William Shakespeare. And let me get a cheesy quote in. You're rewriting your history, aren't you?
That is cheesy. Yes, pretty much so. Yeah, from scratch, bare basics, starting again.
Yeah, and starting again means, well, for you it means moving into a van and becoming somewhat of a nomad.
Yep, complete life change from your standard bricks and mortar, married, child, career, had my own business, and then just decided that was not the life for me. This was it. So got rid of everything, closed the business, got a divorce, and then bought this little baby and loved it ever since.
So you're not the only lady I've met who mentions the word divorce with a smile on her face. What is it? What happened there then? Why are you so happy about it?
Well, we get on very well now, but it was that realization that I just asked myself, there has to be more to life than this, and I wasn't living authentically. I wasn't happy, and I couldn't understand why. And I think it was just that being boxed in day to day rat race, it was not my lifestyle. It just wasn't me anymore. I changed as a person and I just wanted freedom, and this was it for me. I just decided I've slogged my guts out. I've given every blood, sweat and tear to everybody else. It's time to live for me now.
How many Shakespeare kind of quotes can I get into this video? You're rising a new chapter. Yeah. How does it feel?
Amazing. I honestly, I don't know if I could ever go back to normal life, but yeah, I tell everybody I meet, and I get so many people, normally middle-aged men, saying, I can't believe you're doing this. I've always wanted to do it. And I just tell everybody, just give it a go. There's loads of ways that you can try this if you're not sure, but it's not for the faint-hearted. And luckily, I'm just that unconventional kind of person that my family knew that I'd be mental enough to do something like this. But it suits me. And you've got to have a thick skin. You've got to have a good mind about you. And you've got to have a real sense of adventure, because no day is ever going to be the same, and you don't know what you're going to encounter, whether it's breakdowns, getting stuck in lanes, whether it's seeing the most amazing sights and doing it all on your own sometimes. It's it's not for everyone.
See, it's interesting. You mentioned that transition period. So everything that changed about your world, it sounds like more of a spiritual awakening that you went through.
Oh yeah, that definitely kicked in. That was in that was probably what prompted me to start asking the questions and thinking about changing my life. And then it really took hold in probably December 22. And that was it. I just woke up one day and I just said, this is it. I have to completely change my life. And you literally strip everything bare. You go back to nothing. I literally had no business, no income, no home, no prospects, no clue what the hell I was doing. I just knew the only voice that kept saying to me was, I need freedom. I just need to find my place. And I think I found it now. So yeah, I can't ever imagine going back. And it's a whole change. Lots of friends and people that knew me were like, I could see you doing this, but they never thought I'd last. I think they thought a few months, she'll get over it, but no. Definitely not.
To actually do it is a different thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think now that people have got used to me doing it, the amount of friends and family and people that meet me that actually say, well done, how brave you are, it's such an amazing thing, I've always wanted to do this, but I never got around to it. And damn it, life's too short to just be, I wish I'd done that. And I'm quite an impulsive person anyway, so when I get an idea in my head, nothing's going to stop me. I will get on and do it one way or another. So yeah, when people told me this was a stupid idea, that's like red rag to a bull. I was even more into it. And yeah, the more people say this isn't the ideal life or anything like that, they will never understand, because the other van lifers I meet, we all get it. We know.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, we do.
But is there something about this collective of nomads around the world and in the UK that are people wired differently for this kind of life? Did we arrive on this planet with this unconventional mindset?
I think we do. I mean, you will have your run of the mill kind of going about their lives, totally oblivious, happy with the typical A to B. And then there will be those select few, and we've all got friends like it who stood out at school, who weren't like everybody else, who were very unconventional. And we were classed as the weird ones, probably. But actually, I think we were probably the most normal, because this is how life should be lived. Just not being controlled, not being dictated to. Some of us, we go about our business, we live off the land, we do whatever work we need to do to get by. Some of us are living off savings, but we all have that same principle. It's all about respect. It's all about looking after where you go, where you live, and looking after each other. I have a greater sense of community and a lot more support from people I don't even know than I do probably from people that I've known 10 years, because we all know what this lifestyle's about and we all look after each other. So yeah, it's I definitely feel like I've come home.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mentioned this the other day. I was hitchhiking in the south of France with a friend, and it started raining, and two lifers literally gave us the coats off their backs.
Wow.
Obviously, we gave them back at the end, but just that gesture, I don't think I've ever experienced that level of kindness from strangers before in that context.
No, definitely not. I mean, people get so fixated in their lives. It's all about how much money they can earn, where they're going out Saturday night, going on the pool, making more money, up in their careers. And that's great. If that's the life that you've chosen for yourself and that's the ladder you want to climb, all good to you. But we are not all built that way. And I actually think you're more crazy wanting to stay on that treadmill for the rest of your life than to get out and just do this, where every day's a different day. You don't know where you're going to wake up. You've got numerous adventures. There's so much of this world to explore. Even the UK has the most incredible places, and everybody's jetting off to Spain or wherever, but I don't want them to stay necessarily here, because I'm liking where I'm going and the fact that there's not a lot of people there. But yeah, there's a whole world that a lot of people will never know about, and I'm quite glad. I quite like it. It's sort of like a little secret society. But
it does feel that way, because we're kind of living in the grey out here.
Yeah.
We may be your friends, your colleagues, your co-workers, but you may not necessarily know how we live our lives.
Exactly. And because a lot of people do this work digitally online, you're going to be interacting with van lifers all across the world and never knowing about it. And yet it's funny when some people talk about van lifers, or they see camper vans pulling up and motorhomes. Of course, first thing they're going to think of is, the standard, oh no, it's probably, I don't know, travelers, it's dodgy types, it's people that are going to, ruin the place. And with all the restrictions now that they're putting in, not allowing motorhomes and camper vans to stay overnight in certain places is ridiculous. One, it would build amazing revenue. Two, it helps a lot of the local tourism and the local businesses, because we're spending our money there and we don't cause any fuss to anybody. So this is just, I don't know, I think it's just another way of trying to make it harder for the people that can see sense, to be honest. We want to find some way to keep us pigeonholed and keep us stuck, but we are not going down that way.
So you've sold it, where do I sign on? This is amazing lifestyle. But there must be challenges that come alongside this life.
Oh God, yeah. I've had to fix things that I never thought I'd have to fix. I've got myself in situations that no woman on her own should ever get into. And there's been some pretty unpleasant experiences with other people, but it's so rare, and you just have to use your common sense. I mean, I've fixed a toilet, my exhaust fell off and I managed to fix that. My door fell off and I fixed that. I've done loads of little repairs that...
Exhaust falling off classed as little repair, I like it.
Wow, I managed to piece it back together enough for me to get it to a garage. I've got stuck in places that I really shouldn't have got stuck in, but I can look back and laugh now. At the time, not so much. But yeah, you've really got to know what you're doing to some degree. I didn't go into this thinking, oh, this is all going to be a barrel of laughs and rainbows and fairy dust and life was going to be spectacular. I knew it was going to be hard because you don't know where you are camping one night to the next. You don't always know where your camping is going to be safe, and yeah, you have to really have your wits about you. But if you really, really love this lifestyle and this is something that resonates with you, do a little bit of homework, maybe test it out, go and try out. There's loads of places where you can hire motorhomes, but I just think if it's in you, it's in you. You'll just adapt. Yeah. If I can do it, anyone can. But then again, I'm not like everyone.
So you say, yeah, know about the lifestyle, know about the practical side of the lifestyle. And then we were speaking off camera about knowing yourself a little bit better, because you have to be very comfortable with yourself, because you're with yourself quite a lot in this nomad life.
Yeah, I think that comes part and parcel, because almost every van lifer, I would say, not necessarily people that go in motorhomes, because I've met lots of people and they are just middle-aged couples just going about their life, but specifically van lifers and even people that maybe live in their cars, we all have had that same experience of we don't want to be part of the rat race. We kind of like the hermit lifestyle, which is so weird for me because I was such an extrovert. I was an all-out party, going out, wanting to be around people. Now, I mean, I can only be with people for a short period of time and then I start to lose my mind a little bit. But you do get to know yourself really well. And I think that's part and parcel of sometimes the awakening, when you wake up to the reality of this life and that there's more out there and the way we're living is not the way to live. You suddenly realize actually that being on your own is a cathartic experience. And I think it's essential. People need to know themselves. You've got so many distractions in the world. When people are on their own, they can't hack it. Take away their phone, take away devices, take away TV, they lose their mind. But actually the greatest thing it's taught me is the only thing people will ever miss if they choose this lifestyle will be connection. Because living on my own has been so tough emotionally, to actually be by myself 24/7 for like 6-7 months. I mean, I would see people, but you wouldn't have the proper interaction. You wouldn't go out together. You wouldn't hang out. You wouldn't live with them. So you were literally just you and yourself. It was just me, myself, and I. And I really recognized that I missed people, but the right people.
Yeah. And that's often the case when you arrive at a new town. You've picked your park up for the night. You walk into the town and you see regular folk doing regular folk things, and you're like, oh, I'm the outsider here.
Yeah.
Again!
It gives me such a rush, though, to do that. Like when people ask, where do you live? I just say, I live anywhere. And they sort of look confused, and I'm like, I live in a motorhome. And the shock that kind of gets them, because I guess I don't look like a typical van lifer. I don't know, they maybe expect it to be mostly men, mostly young people, or people that are on hard times. Where I was camped up before, we had the local council come round from the homeless welfare people. And they said, we're just checking in on you. I said, I'm not homeless. This is my home, and I go wherever I want. And within 10 minutes, they were like, I'm so jealous of you. They were like, we really want to do what you're doing. And it's the same for everyone, because it's not the way we live, it's why we live this. It's the freedom, it's the peace, it's that sense of just contentment. We don't need for anything, we don't want for anything. As long as we've got the basics, absolutely fine. We don't bother anyone, we don't cause any trouble. We're just going about our lives, just being free. And it's absolute bliss. And when I see people just going on the commute and doing their day-to-day thing, getting stressed about stuff, families arguing, couples arguing, I just sit back and just think, thank God that's not me.
That's a great story about the council worker as well. Like, perception is reality, and for them to see and experience your unique way of living and then say, why can't I have some of that?
I know, and I think that's ingrained in every single person, whether you admit it or not. Everybody is searching ultimately for freedom, because they're trying to get the better job, the better money to pay off the mortgage, to have financial freedom. They want to earn as much as they can so that they can go where they want and do what they want. But when you've got that kind of lifestyle, you are always trapped by something, because you always either need to keep doing more or keep achieving more, because you're never satisfied. There's always that next big thing, and you're always going to get a bigger house or a bigger mortgage or more expensive car, when really you don't need that crap. You've got everything you already need. But yeah, once you get sucked into that lifestyle, it's hard for a lot of people to get out, which is why, again, it's not for everyone. And I'm glad, because leaves more room for the rest of us.
That's a great sentiment. So you live anywhere, everywhere, and nowhere, and you have chosen to do that in a motorhome.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind that decision?
Well, initially, after selling my house, following the divorce, couldn't find anywhere that I could afford. So I made a really hard decision for my son to go and live with his dad, because he could find a place. So it just seemed like the logical move. And then that left me thinking, well, the only options I had were to go to some shelter perhaps, or bunk with friends, rent a room, none of which I like the idea of. So I did sort of stay with friends and family for a bit. I looked at getting a boat, but there are no moorings anymore, and don't get me started on the riverways. Then it sort of came down to, what are my other options? And a friend suggested maybe I get a van or a camper van and convert it. And the idea of having the motorhome was born. And from the moment I'd set my sights on it, I'd visualize exactly how I wanted it to look. I visualized the price of it, the setup, every single detail of it to a T. I manifested it within a week, and literally within 3 days I'd seen 3 vehicles, and this was the 3rd one, and it ticked every single box. So yeah, within a week I'd gone from thinking about it to owning it.
Nice. So you said a Ducato, is that right?
Yeah, Fiat Ducato. It's an auto trail. It's coach built as well, which is, again, all the things I ticked off, because the coach built ones are much better built. And it's a 97, so it's so I've been told by many garages, it's got one of the most solid chassis bodyworks for most vehicles they've seen. So I actually feel quite chuffed that I bought well, and I didn't have any man helping me. So yeah, I feel quite chuffed with that one, because I think my brother and probably a few other people thought she's going to buy an absolute hit. It's going to be a money sucker and fall apart, but no, I've put this baby through some absolute hell over the last few months, and he's never let me down yet. So yeah, he's my little Indy. Had to name him. Indy.
I was just going to come on to that one.
Yeah, partly because the name was Cheyenne, which is obviously the native Indian, but I like to think of myself as sort of like Indiana Jones, going off on trails.
You need the hat.
I know.
We need the hat.
I also refer to myself as a snail, because technically I'm moving around with my home on my back. So.
Oh, I like that. Slow mud.
Yeah.
You're slow mud.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, again, it's great that that's landed for you, because for a lot of people it doesn't.
No.
They buy something and then they find out things need fixing, or there's big repair bills, or sometimes they have to write them out completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I've met a few people that have had some absolute disasters, but I always just say, oh, I must be lucky, but then I don't know. I can't think. This is what I planned. I wasn't intended on getting a vehicle that was going to let me down. I wanted something robust and had the paperwork to back it up. So I did go through everything. It wasn't like I looked at it and went, "Ooh, it's pretty." I did get under the bonnet.
But it is pretty.
It is pretty. I did get underneath. I mean, it came with knocks and scrapes. I've added a hell of a lot more. But I do try and maintain it as best as possible. It needs a little overhaul here and again, so I just keep trying to keep tabs on it. But yeah.
I've got to be honest. I do that kind of thing where you open the bonnet and you just look at it and you go, "Yeah, it looks all right."
Well, the thing I love about this, it's like the kind of cars I learned to drive in, where you can actually see the engine, you can see the working parts. You don't have to get a stupid computer to tell you what's wrong with it. You literally, it's like a couple of nuts and bolts. You can take things off, you can fix things in. It's so much easier to maintain. I can get to every single part of this engine if I need to. Not to say I'd know what I was doing if I got to it, but
well, I'm here. I know what I do.
Yeah, I got the basics, and I mean, I think we're quite lucky now with YouTube and Google and so many other things. There's loads of people that can help you out, and if I try and do any in-depth job, I will always try and video it to share it and let other people know how to do it, because the one common question I've got from other female van lifers that are either starting out or thinking about it, they all say the same thing, and they're terrified of something going wrong and them not being able to handle it. So if that's the case, go get yourself a quick visit with a mechanic, or I think even help might do it. I don't know. There's loads of places that can help you out where they can just give you a good run through of what to do with the basics. I mean, if this got a flat tire, I'm not going to be fixing that. I'll be calling out breakdown. But for the basics, it's a learning curve, but you can absolutely do it. There's nothing that can stop you doing it apart from yourself.
Right. There will be a link to Louise's YouTube channel in the description, so check that out at your leisure. Now, can we have a look inside, Indy?
Yes, if you can get up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of a spruce. So this was one of the things I absolutely insisted on, because most of them are like bench seats and I wanted the L plan. So I specifically set in my mind it was going to be white and grey. It was going to be L plan seating, and yeah, everything would be in its place. And yeah, I can't fault it. The only thing I will say that has happened is I've lost a couple of blinds, but I was going to replace them anyway, so that's just it spurred me on to do it. So this is normally the sofa, which goes right back, and this is a double bed when it pulls right out. And then I've got the bunk up there as well, which sleeps 2 people, but I don't tend to sleep up there because it's like sleeping in a coffin. It's great for kids, not so much for larger adults. So yeah, I eat, sleep, work here. I can get my table out and that slots into place there. If I've got people coming around, obviously I'll roll this up and chuck everything in there. So my cab has become like a second sort of storage room, really. But
It's a nice big space for the bed, isn't it?
I know, it's absolutely, yeah, I can't fault it at all. It's so comfortable. And I mean, I just got one of the basic sort of memory foam mattresses. Bought that, fit to size. So that actually fits in here, and it will also fit up in the cab as well. So it doubles up either way. But
lots of storage.
that was the thing. I wanted loads of storage, and I got it in bucket loads. It's taken me ages to actually even fill it because I didn't have enough stuff. I mean, I've even got my own wardrobe as well. So I've got room to put all my clothes. Yeah, I've got everything to fit everywhere. I need to get the gas fire taken out because that doesn't work anymore, and I've now got a diesel heater. So I want to take that out, and that will become a little bit of extra storage. But yeah, I've got everything I need. And that cooker is phenomenal. I've cooked roast dinners, curries, casseroles. Seriously, that thing is legendary. It's
Oh, another.
yeah, it absolutely is amazing. People are always like, oh, I think they think I must live off like salad and sandwiches or maybe soup at the best. But no, I could cook a meal for 4 people out of that, no problem.
It's like a proper house oven, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's just a proper house oven. I think the only other thing that people always question is toiletry facilities.
Oh yeah.
How do I wash? And I'm like, well, I have a shower. And then they ask about the toilet, and I'm like, well, I changed all the products, so I only use biodegradable, economical products.
Nice.
So my waste can go down any toilet, drain, whatever. It doesn't have to go into a very specialized tank, which most of them usually do. And yeah, all cleaning things I use are all environmentally friendly, biodegradable stuff. So yeah, I try and make sure I do my bit.
Very good. You got heating in here as well?
Yeah,
diesel
so
heater?
I've got the diesel heater there.
Nice.
Panels on the side there. I did have a remote control, but it fell in the sink. So I'm going to have to get a new one replaced, because in the winter you need it, because you're nice and cozy in bed, and then just with a click of a button your heating comes on. Whereas now I've actually got to get out and turn it on. But
I love the cab room. It's like the second room, isn't it? It's like
it is. I mean,
hidden treetop.
It's not a pretty sight at the minute because it's just got all bits and pieces.
But still a nice space, isn't it?
But it's plenty of room. If you had 2 small people or 1 person, yeah, it does the job up there.
And do you feel like a boss when you're driving this thing? I like the cab.
I love it. I love driving it. I like being up high. I think that's the thing as well. People are quite intimidated by the size of the vehicle. But it didn't really bother me. I'd been driving a T4 before this. So I was quite used to driving vans, and with work I used to drive vans all over the place. But yeah, it never really fazed me. When you're driving, you forget this is behind you. You just feel like you're in some little vehicle, and then there's times when I look behind and I think, oh crap, when you had to reverse around something, you're like, wow, I really am driving a big vehicle. And obviously parking and things plays up, but I mean, this actually was one of my most favorite things. So that's getting replaced because it started to fall apart, but it's got everything you could possibly want.
Wow.
The sink pulls out into a shower, so I'm going to turn that around, rip all this out. Shower will go on that side facing the toilet instead of the door, and then I've got a new sink to go in there, and then it's going to be just topped up. But the best thing is this.
Oh, help.
This sold it for me. As soon as the guy showed me this, I was in my element. So that goes into place. And this
oh yes.
So it's perfect. In winter I do this because you get a lot of cold coming from the cab. So in the winter I always pull this door across, and then it's like self-contained.
That's kind of like Blind Date. That is like, here's our grain with a recap.
Exactly. So, tonight, Matthew, I will be. It was the best thing, and as soon as the guy showed me, I was like, I'm sold.
Oh yeah.
That did it. He showed me this, and I went, right.
To be honest, if I started that, I'd be throwing the money at him.
Yeah, it was great. I think the only other thing that I bought that was an absolute game changer as well was a connector cable that allows me to hook up my electric to any electric point. Nice. So any service station or supermarket or any shop, wherever there's an electric point, I can just hook straight into it. So if I ever need to charge my battery on the go, I can do that, and it keeps me going. But to be fair, with the solar panel, I don't really need to do that much.
Safety is accounted for as well?
Yes, always. I've got 2 fire extinguishers. So I've always got one in the cab, one up here.
That's great.
Yeah, got broadband, got everything you need. People are always like, have you got a TV? And I'm like, don't need it, just use my laptop. And
you have bananas, interestingly, hanging here.
Yeah,
that's not a secret chord or anything, is it?
No. What? What, like pumpkins?
Or a pineapple?
No.
They're here.
No, I am legit. No, it was just the easiest place to stick it.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise I put it in the cupboard, I forget about them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, then they don't, they're not edible afterwards, but...
Yeah, bananas are a nemesis in nomad life. They go off so quick.
Yeah. Same with avocados. I can put them in that cupboard and then they're raw for like ages, and then one day I'll go back and they're all done. So I don't know. I think temperature is another thing that people forget. Although we've got the vents and everything, and it does open up quite well in the heat of summer, it is a sauna. And in the depths of winter, it is a little icebox, but it's better than being outside. So it's there's a few things I've encountered. So I think even that side of things, just getting used to it being really cold or being super duper hot, you have to adapt with that. There's no air conditioning other than a few windows. But yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Excellent. What a really cozy, nice place you've got here.
It is. I love it. It's it's my little home. I mean, think about it. Most people pay like probably what, 800 quid for a month for a little studio apartment, which is basically this, where you've got your sofa, a bed, a kitchen, toilet, and that's it. It's like a one studio apartment. So that's how I kind of look at it. It's got everything I need exactly where I need it, and there's nothing better than being able to just literally roll out of bed and put the kettle on and then roll back into bed, and you don't have to go anywhere.
And the combination of places you can do that at instead of one fixed location. Hello?
Shut in.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bit windy out there.
Yeah, it is. So waking up pretty much anywhere and having all the comforts of home, that's a remarkable thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is good. I mean, we mentioned that earlier. It's the most random thing sometimes when you wake up and you look out the curtains and you don't know where you are, or you forgot where you parked and you think you're somewhere else. And that is, I find that hilarious, because for the first few months it took such a lot of getting used to. I used to know exactly where I was going to be because I'd planned to go there or I was traveling. But then there's sometimes when you just, for whatever reason, you have to move, and yeah, you decide this place doesn't look safe, or this isn't really comfortable, or it's too windy, or whatever the conditions are, and then you go somewhere else and you wake up, but you've still got that original place in your mind, and you sort of look out and it's just a sea of people out there. But yeah, I quite like it, and it feels very private. People don't usually, yeah, they don't usually sort of bat an eyelid. So, but there are a few extra security things that I would like to add in place here, because I think the only thing that ever would be a concern is obviously if it got stolen or damaged. This is my house. This is where I live, so anything happens to it, it does put me in a sticky situation. So it's a lot harder if you're somebody that doesn't have friends and family around. You don't have resources or money where you could stay in a hotel if you need to, and if your insurance doesn't cover you, then yeah, it does make it tricky. So it's something you have to always bear in mind. You need a plan B or a plan C just in case. You've got to figure out how that's all going to work logistically. And I am quite fortunate that, worst case scenario, I could hire a vehicle or I could go and stay with friends and family. I'd find a way to make it work. I think that's the only mantra that I think you'll find with van life, is no matter what, we'll find a way. That's literally it.
We'll find a way, all right.
Yeah.
I think it's often a way to freedom on our terms, like you're doing, and this is a fantastic story.
Yeah, yeah. I can't see myself changing it anytime soon. If I do leave this lifestyle, I'll still be living somewhere in the wilderness, whether it's a cabin in the woods or a tree house or a yurt. I don't know, but I don't think I'll be going back to bricks and mortar anytime soon.
Excellent.
Not at all.
Well, if you do live in a treehouse, we'll come back for a sequel visit.
Yeah, it'll be the next level.
Yeah. Love it. Well, thank you very much for showing us around.
You're welcome.
And happy travels. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you.